Hi, this is Ryan Daly from themanicsketcher.wordpress.com. Today I'm going to go over some helpful hints, some suggestions, and some tips to fix artistic screw-ups. Now, these tips, they're good for illustrators, printmakers, people that work with drawings. This is not ideal if you're a sculptor or a painter. That's just not my thing. So what I have here is a drawing that I was working on 2 weeks ago, and I completely screwed up an area. And so what I want to do now is go back into it and completely cover up the area that I screwed up. For this drawing, I had a really hard time getting this pendant correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it up. And what you need for this is some tracing paper, some Bristol or very bright white paper, and some rubber cement. So what you do is you get your tracing paper and you press it over the area that you want to cover up. And then you just make a silhouette of the area that you want to fix. Alrighty. And then what you want to do then is cut out the silhouette and put it against some Bristol paper. Now for speed's sake, I'm not going to do all the cutting out, but here is the finished cut out Bristol paper. And as you can see, it's very bright white, and what you do is you put it over the area that you want to cover up. Make sure it's cut out properly. And what you want to do is you put some rubber cement down and you paste it right over the area. So now you have a nice clean white surface to go back into the drawing. Now, and if you're using, if you're doing like a silk screen, this would be very good because once you print it onto the screen, it's not even, you're not even going to know the difference. You're not going to know that there was something pasted there that covers up a mistake. So now the next thing is the good old whiteout solution. Now this, like whiteout, is just a white ink that completely destroys the mistake. Now people think that, oh, it's whiteout, it's just easy to use, that, you know, you can't go wrong with it. Wrong. What you want to do, make sure it's stirred up. Once again, this is very, you could either use a brush, you could use a pen. This is good for drawings, illustrations, and you just mix it up a little. And you want to make sure it's even. I'm using a brush. You want to make sure it's even on the brush. And as you go on over a mistake, you want to make sure that it covers it, but doesn't become blotchy or develops any air bubbles, because then that'll become a noticeable mistake. I'm just kind of going over stuff. I'll just go over these 3 dots. I'll let it dry. And like I said, you don't want it to become blotchy because then people will notice that it'll become a little bit of an eyesore. Alright, let that dry for a second. Alright, so you can see that it pretty much covers it. It's not that messy. It's artistic whiteout. And Daler and Rowney are the people that make it. I'll put a link down below so you guys can check that out. And so yeah, it's good for little small details. Nothing that big if you want to go in just to fix up little fine details. Now, there's also the reverse of whiting something out and completely blacking it out. And that really doesn't work if you're not using a full range of values in your drawings. So if for this, it worked well in areas like this because there was contrast between values and stuff like that. So, I mean, the nuclear option's not the best, but it can be done. And the last thing I have is kind of something to prevent screw-ups. And talking about screw-ups, I screwed up and left this open so it all dried out. So I'm going to do a mock demo on this. This is Frisket Mask Liquid by Dr. P.H. Martin. And what this is, it secures an image so you could either work around it or just blanket an area with color. So the first example here, you see these 4 little dots, that's where you put the mask down. And then you would just go over the whole area with an ink, paint, whatever. And then what would happen is the mask secures the image, so when you cover it, it doesn't get ink or paint in that area. So once it completely dries, you take the mask off and the image is still there. And then the second instance, you have an image that, like let's say you have an image in the front ground and you want to work on something in the background. You secure the image in the front ground and then you work on the background. Simple enough. And like I said, it's Dr. P.H. Martin's Frisket Mask Liquid. It's pretty good stuff. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Now, if you got any other suggestions that you guys would like to make, feel free to add it into the comments. What works for you? What works when you screw up? So that's the Manic Sketcher at manicsketcher.wordpress.com. See you later.